She was just a curious girl. One ordinary day, she found an ancient box hidden in the dust. No warnings, no locks, just a simple lid. The moment she opened it, everything changed. Pain, suffering, disease, war, every evil known to man poured out into the world like smoke. Hope tried to escape last, but it was too late. What she unleashed that day ruined humanity forever. This is the dark truth behind Pandora's box, the myth that predicted our downfall. Stick around, because once you hear the full story, you'll never look at curiosity the same way again. In the golden age of the gods, before the first gray hair appeared on any mortal head, and before the concept of regret existed, humanity lived in a paradise of effortless bliss. Men and women, though at that time there were only men, tended gardens that bloomed without toil. They drank from streams that never ran dry. They laughed under skies that never stormed. Death was a gentle visitor who came only when invited, like an old friend at the door. There was no war, no famine, no jealousy that twisted the heart into knots. Fire belonged to the gods alone, and Prometheus, the titan who loved humanity more than his own kin, had not yet stolen it. But Prometheus did steal it. He crept into Olympus, hid a spark in the hollow of a fennel stalk, and brought the flame down to earth. With fire came knowledge, the ability to cook meat, to forge tools, to warm homes against the coming winters. Humanity rejoiced. They built villages, sang songs around crackling hearths, and dreamed of futures brighter than any star. Zeus, king of the gods, watched from his throne and felt his thunderbolt grow heavy with rage. "They have fire now," he growled to the assembled deities. "They think themselves our equals. Very well. I shall give them a gift in return, a gift that will teach them the true cost of defiance." He summoned Hephaestus, the lame god of the forge. "Craft me a woman," Zeus commanded. "Make her more beautiful than the dawn, more graceful than the swans on the river Lethe. Give her a voice like honey and eyes that could make even Ares forget his wars. But inside her, plant the seeds of curiosity, the kind that gnaws and whispers and never rests." Hephaestus obeyed. He shaped her from clay, mixed with the tears of the gods and the laughter of nymphs. Athena draped her in robes of shimmering silk and taught her the arts of weaving. Aphrodite breathed into her the gifts of desire and charm. Hermes added cunning and a silver tongue. Each god bestowed a talent until she was perfect in every visible way. They named her Pandora, which means all gifted. Zeus himself presented the final touch. He handed her a box carved from the darkest ebony, inlaid with gold and mother of pearl, sealed with a lock that gleamed like forbidden knowledge. No key was given. The lock would open only to her touch if she ever chose to defy the warning. "This is my wedding gift to humanity," Zeus said, his smile sharp as a blade. "Take it to Epimetheus, brother of Prometheus. He is to marry you. Tell him the box must never be opened. Never, under any circumstance." Pandora was led down from Olympus by Hermes. She walked through clouds that parted like curtains, her feet bare upon the soft earth when she arrived. The world below smelled of fresh rain and wildflowers. Epimetheus, whose name meant afterthinker, saw her and was lost. He had been warned by Prometheus, accept no gifts from Zeus. But how could he refuse this vision? She was warmth and light and everything the lonely world had lacked. They married under an olive tree heavy with fruit. The wedding feast lasted days. Mortals danced and sang, unaware that the first woman had brought more than beauty. The box sat in the corner of their modest home, unassuming, beautiful, silent. Not in words at first, it was a feeling, a pull at the edge of her thoughts when she passed it while sweeping the floor, a question that bloomed in quiet moments. What could be so dangerous that the King of Gods himself forbids it? Pandora would shake her head, braid her long dark hair, and tell herself it was nothing. She had everything a woman could want: a kind husband, a home, the admiration of mortals who saw in her the beginning of something new. Nights grew longer. Epimetheus would fall asleep quickly, his snores soft and trusting. Pandora lay awake staring at the ceiling beams. The box sat on a high shelf, catching moonlight through the window. It seemed to glow faintly, as if something alive stirred within. One night she rose, barefoot on the cool stone floor, and stood before it. Her fingers hovered over the lock. "Why?" he asked, voice breaking. "I warned you." Pandora could not answer. How do you explain the voice that whispered you must know? How do you describe the moment when perfection cracked under the weight of its own incompleteness? News spread. Mortals who had never known pain now felt it in their bones. Women, now multiplying, carried new burdens: childbirth that tore the body, love that could break as easily as it healed. Men learned to swing fists instead of sharing bread. The world, once a garden, became a battlefield of survival. Pandora lived on, but she was no longer the radiant gift from Olympus. She became a symbol. Some cursed her name, blaming the first woman for every storm and every lost harvest. Others pitied her. In time, storytellers would soften the tale or twist it. They would call the container a jar in the oldest versions, a box in later mistranslations. They would debate whether hope was a blessing trapped inside or another curse meant to torment mortals with false promises. But the truth was simpler and more terrible. Pandora had not ruined humanity through malice. She had done it through the most human impulse of all: curiosity, the desire to lift the veil, to see what was hidden, to claim the unknown even when warned against it. Centuries rolled on. Humanity adapted. They built cities despite disease. They loved despite sorrow. They fought wars but also forged peace. They aged but told stories to the young. And always, at the bottom of every despair, hope remained locked away, not released into the world like the evils, but kept close, perhaps because mortals needed to earn it, or perhaps because Zeus had intended even that as a final cruelty. Modern echoes abound. A child opens a mysterious app on a screen and unleashes digital shadows that spread misinformation and division. A researcher cracks open a gene and releases possibilities that could heal or destroy. A politician lifts the lid on an old alliance and watches alliances crumble into conflict. Each time, the same whisper, just a peek. What harm could it do? Pandora's act was not the end, it was the beginning of the real human story, the one where paradise is lost and something messier, harder, and strangely more alive takes its place. We toil, we grieve, we rage, we love anyway. We build machines that fly and weapons that annihilate. We write symphonies that make the soul soar even as our bodies fail. And at the bottom of every crisis, when all the evils have flown out and the lid slams down again, we reach for that flickering thing we cannot quite name, the thing Pandora kept inside. Perhaps one day we will open the box a final time, not out of curiosity, but understanding. Perhaps we will release hope into the world deliberately, letting it mingle with the evils until they balance. Or perhaps the true ruin is believing we can ever close it again. For now, we live in the aftermath. Every birth is a small defiance. Every act of kindness pushes back against hatred. Every discovery, every poem, every hand held in the dark is humanity saying to the gods, "You gave us the box, we opened it. Now watch what we do with the pieces." She opened a box. And in doing so, she did not merely ruin humanity. She made us human. She opened the box, and in a single moment, curiosity destroyed everything we knew. What was inside Pandora's box wasn't just evil. It was the end of innocence, the birth of suffering, and the price we still pay today. If this story of humanity's greatest mistake hit you hard, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Would you have opened the box? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next myth might be even darker. Thanks for watching, and remember, some doors should never be opened. See you in the next one.